Hit it. Oh, how you feel, brother?
Feeling good.
You feel good?
Feeling good. It's groovy.
Play so much bone, brother. How you feel, man?
I feel all right.
I call your name. I don't want no people to know you're in here. How you feel, fella? Hey, jam. Sure getting down. We gotta take you high. Yeah. Ow. All right.
Hi, this is Sharita J coming to you live out of Los Angeles, and it is drive time. I know a lot of you are out there in that traffic on the 405, the 101, all of those freeways, but you've got some great entertainment if you are tuned in to me today. My very special guest is Mr. Ken Carter. You know him as Coach Ken Carter, and he is the phenomenal man that, let me just say, Samuel Jackson is phenomenal, but he played a phenomenal man in the movie Coach Carter. And Coach Carter is with me today. He's been a friend for a long time. I bet Coach doesn't even remember when we were talking about him doing this movie, and he was gathering the information, and I'm like, yeah, right, Coach. And he's like, Sharita, I'm going to do this movie. And it did come into fruition. So when you have a dream, when you have something, let me not say a dream, when you have a desire to make something happen, if you can't make it happen for yourself, you need to get connected to Coach Ken Carter, because everything that I have heard him say he was going to do, he has done. And so he's my very special guest, going to be joining me in just a moment. He is holding on. Before we move forward, though, into the show, I just want to remind you, we send out free grant information weekly. I always get emails with you guys asking about the grants, nonprofit, and all of that. Go to my website at kifoundation.org. That's kifoundation.org. Click on the tab, the very top left, and it says free grant info. That's how you can stay connected not only to me, but the wonderful information that we send out on a regular basis. Even if you're not familiar with grants, if you just open those up and start looking at what they're asking for in those grant guidelines, you'll realize that it's not as mystical as most people have tried to convince you that it is. And so go there and get signed up. Also, if you would like to be on the air with me, do you have a book? Are you an author? Are you a political person that's making a difference in community? Or are you that individual that you've been in the trenches working with individuals for years and you have not been acknowledged for the wonderful things that you're doing? I'd love to acknowledge you right here. Even if you're not in the city or state, we can Skype you in the way the gentleman that's waiting on the line, Coach Ken Carter, is coming in to you today. So if you'd like to be on the air, go to my other website, which is SharitaHerring.com. That's SharitaHerring.com. If you're wondering how to spell it, just think of she, Rita, her, ring. That's she, Rita, her, ring. SharitaHerring.com. And you'll see a tab that says on the air. So get signed up right there. I'm not going to delay you guys any further because I have, again, the legendary Coach Ken Carter on with me today. Coach, how are you?
I'm absolutely terrific, young lady. How are you?
I am amazing. I'm even more amazing having you on the air with me. You know, I was telling him, yes, I think that Samuel L. Jackson is all of that. But for him to play you, that to me just lifted him up a few notches on my belt. So, Coach, what made you decide to go on and move forward with the movie?
Well, we have received a lot of recognition, and believe it or not, Sharita, this dream or this goal was 35 years in coming. It took me 35 years to become an overnight success. I came home one day, my family lived in Macomb, Mississippi, and we were so broke, ma'am, when we passed by a bank, it actually set off the alarm. We was tore up from the floor up. And I came home and my mom was crying because she didn't have enough cooking oil to finish our meal. And, it's 9 kids and my dad. And no matter how hard my parents worked, we never had abundance of anything. We just had just enough. And my mom was crying, and the only weapon I had in my arsenal, I had the ability to write. Mrs. Bryant, my first grade teacher, just demanded that we get A's on our spelling tests and have the ability to write. And I took out my little pencil and my little piece of paper out of my flour sack that I carried as a backpack, and I wrote my mama this note: Mama, one day they gonna make a movie about me, and I'm gonna buy you a big house and pay off all your bills, and you'll never have to cry again, Mama. Love, Kenny Ray. I was Kenny Ray before I was Coach Carter.
Okay. Well, you know, speaking of when you were young, you've even told me the story before about you grew cucumbers or pickles or something in a jar as a child. What?
Yes,
Tell that
yes,
story.
and in a bottle.
Yeah.
Let me finish up the thing with my mom, and then we'll
Okay.
get to that. Get
Okay.
to the entrepreneurial part of Coach Carter.
Okay.
So a lot of the people who's listening now, watching this on Skype, they may say, "Oh, Coach, did you buy your mom a big house?" Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Did you pay off all of her bills? No, she's an expensive girl.
And
But
you
I
have
tell
sisters.
and seven sisters, yes. So I have uh, it took 35 years for that to happen. But let me tell you one thing about writing things down.
Uh-huh.
If you write things down, they're 10 times more likely to come true.
Wow. Wow. 10
10 times,
times.
yes, it's mathematically proven. So if you
Wow.
start your day the night before, you'll be 10 times more effective throughout that day.
Wow.
Now
Wow.
that's compound interest.
Okay. Well, you know, again, you every time I talk to you, you tell me something that I learn from. And oh wait, but before we go to that story about the pickle, Coach, I want to stay on the movie for a moment since we were talking about that.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
in the movie, you went up against parents that got angry because you locked the gym. You were the owner of a sporting goods store, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How true to life was the movie?
The movie is 98.5 correct. The only thing we changed was some of the teams we played and how much we beat them by,
Uh-huh.
and some families' names. And Mr. Samuel Jackson is like 6 inches taller than I am,
Okay. Okay.
and he's a little bit older. But other than that, because
Yeah.
when I go places, people go like, "You're young." They think I'm some old guy or something like
Uh-huh.
that. But
Uh-huh.
it's really amazing. Just having a goal, having organized plans. See, a lot of people don't understand, Ms. Sarita. You don't get paid by the hour. You get paid by the value you bring to the hour. And you must always do more than what you're paid for as an investment in your future.
Wait a minute.
So
Say
all I
that
was doing
again.
was investing in my future.
You got to say that again. You don't get paid by the hour.
You get paid by the value you bring to the hour.
Value you bring to the hour. Coach, have you written that down for your next book?
Yes, ma'am.
I knew it. I knew it.
It's in my book.
Okay.
This one, yeah, yes, ma'am, no, sir.
Okay.
It's in
Okay.
this book
Oh, yeah.
that you can get at CoachCarter.com or Amazon or any bookstore across the country.
Yeah, matter of fact, we've got your site that I was going to bring up. In reference to the book, tell us about that a little bit since you held that up. I want to know a little bit about that.
Well, believe it or not, Miss Sarita, the people in Hollywood cannot even remember my name. But the one thing they could remember, they said, the real polite young man.
Yeah.
Make up, it's Coach Carter, the young man who says, yes, ma'am, no, sir.
Yes.
By me saying yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, sir, throughout my life, it always separated me from the crowd. And I always received great benefits from it my entire life. And that's just training from just a kid.
Yes.
We
Yes.
always taught to say yes, ma'am, no, sir. And if you didn't, you got a switch or a broom or whatever mom or dad was close to, or him or her,
Yeah.
that was going to use it. So if they talk about child abuse now, one time I told my dad, I said, I'm gonna call Child Protective Service on you. I was playing with him. He said, "Why are you over there at the phone? Call 911. You're gonna need the ambulance too." He was old school.
And you know what you do? I don't care where I've been with you. You do continuously say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. And it doesn't even matter whether they're younger or older than you. Like you keep calling me Miss Sharita. And how long have we known each other?
25 years,
A
probably.
long time, a very long time. You know, I was right before you came on, I was talking about, I remember when you kept saying that you were going to do this movie. I didn't know that you had planned it even 30 years ago. But I remember even when you were getting the meetings and you were preparing documents. I don't know if you remember, we were doing stuff on the computer, and I'm thinking, how's this man going to get a movie? Because I had never met anyone that was determined to get a movie done. And so if I haven't said it to you, I probably haven't 100 times. I'm so proud of you. And the other
Thank you.
thing is that I want my audience to know, if they have not heard you speak, if they have not watched you speak, you guys, when you find out that Coach Carter is coming to your city, it is the most amazing thing. Not only will you have fun, not only will you laugh a lot, you're going to learn a lot. And Coach, that's what I've always experienced when I've been in your presence, and also when I've watched you speak. So again, I'm so proud of you. Anything you want to say before I go into my questions?
Well, I want people to really understand that, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And there's a difference between being broke and being poor. Being broke is just an economic condition, but being poor is a disabling frame of mind and a depressed condition of your spirit. When we lived in Mississippi, ma'am, and our roof on our house had holes in it, that really didn't matter when it rained because our floor had holes in it. So the water just ran on through. But see, it's not where you begin in life, it's where you finish.
Yes.
And you know what, Miss Sarita?
Yeah.
I have never, ever seen a hearse, you understand, basically a U-Haul follow a hearse. So all the great things that we accomplish, we can't take it with us. So we got to share these things.
Yes, I agree. And you continuously share. When I first met you, you were actually, my son was you almost coached my son when you guys were, I think I met you before then. But anyway, this was at Slam Ball.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were one of the coaches there. And my son kept saying, "Ma, you need to meet this dude. You need to meet this brother." And I that's when I first really remember us talking. And I was amazed even then how you were with your team. And the same thing that you have demonstrated. Wait, Rockets wanted to say something.
That's where I remember him from.
Yeah.
He was my cousin's coach, Beaver.
Yeah.
He was in Texas. That's his coach. I met him.
Ah, okay.
I was running Saddle Ranch right there.
Okay.
Wow.
And he just ran his team totally different. I mean, your team was always unique from the others. Their manner of play was different. You continuously demonstrate not only how much of a leader you are, but you demand it of the young people that are around you. I cannot wait to visit your school there in Texas because you're consistent when it comes to not only discipline, not only and the expectations of yourself, but those around you. And again, that even showed with the young men in Slam Ball. Any comments about Slam Ball, Coach?
Well, they are playing overseas and they're doing well. And, I just wish them so much success because they employ a lot of African American males playing that game.
Yes.
And I just think it's a great game.
Yes.
We was able to win a championship and always had the best record in Slam Ball every year.
Yes.
And our guys just gave me a little bit more than they would give the other coaches and things. So I really enjoyed that process, and it helped me grow as an individual and as a coach and as a person. And, and so now I'm on to bigger and better things. So it's just a great thing.
And for those that probably aren't aware, Slam Ball is an extreme sport, basketball, and it's where there's a trampoline like in the area where it would normally be the three-point shot, And the guys, it didn't even matter their height because they could do some phenomenal things in Slam Ball and with the trampolines and all of that. But just for those, my listeners, I'm highlighting Coach Ken Carter today. And what we're doing, we're not only celebrating Father's Day, but this is Father's Day month, if that makes sense. There are so many fathers that are making a difference throughout our communities, those that are celebrity, but even those that are not. And Coach, before he even became celebrity, was truly in the trenches and changing the lives of young men. So again, to my listeners, we're highlighting Coach Ken Carter, who also he is the dean now of a school. And Coach, tell us about your school.
Well, I'm the dean and headmaster of the Coach Carter Impact Academy, and it's for young boys in junior high school.
Okay.
We go to school 12 hours a day. And I'm going to make the boldest statement in the world that within 2 years, we're going to have the highest test scores in the country.
Wow. Wait a minute. You
Hands
said
down.
you're in
Because
school
when our students don't,
You said you're in school 12 hours a day?
pardon me?
Did you say you're in school 12 hours a
Yes,
day?
ma'am.
5 days a week?
Yes, ma'am.
Coach,
No, 6.
what what time do you start?
6 a.m.
And so you're there from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.?
Well, I'm here from 4 a.m. to whatever it takes. But,
Okay.
this is the thing. It's about changing people's lives. Listen, the reason people ask me all the time, why do you spend so much time with young people, Coach? And it's for 2 reasons. The first reason is because I love them all. The second reason is one day I hope to get my Social Security check. So if I don't produce a good product, I won't be getting my Social Security check. And so if we pay so much money into it, we'd like to get a return on our investment. See,
Yes.
kids are 1/3 of our population, but they're 100% of our future. So we have to take care of them, keep them healthy, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially.
Right, right. You know what? And it's a scary time right now. I was saying it during my last show. We're really at a pandemic state when it comes to our young people. We want to complain that the pants are too low and the skirts are too high, but what are we doing? This is on our watch. So if our young people are not where they should be, whose fault is it really? And so we all have to realize that it's important for everyone to work with our young people, because it used to be that we stayed in one community for a long time and the neighbors knew the kids, and if the parent wasn't around, Miss Jones down the street could even holler at the kids or whatever. And now neighbors don't even speak to each other, and our families are continuously in transition. And so our young people are not receiving what we did as young children. And so, Coach, I know that you have something to say about the state of our young people now. What would you say, or what kind of advice can you give for others if they're wanting to do something?
Family goes back to the head of the family, which should be the black male. Mm-hmm. And I'm just absolutely embarrassed of what we have done over the years now. Mm-hmm. People always talk about the kids. The kids are just a product of what we allow them to do. Mm-hmm. Yes. Period. Yes. When a kid doesn't turn in his homework with me, ma'am, I take his desk and make him sit on the floor for a week. Guess what happens the next week? He turns in everything from now on. So there's always have to be a consequence.
Yes.
And not all this lip service. And yes. So black males just need to be, if we are bold enough to father all these kids, we need to be man enough to take care of them.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. Okay.
At my school, if you owe child support, you can't work for me. Period.
Wow. Wow.
You got to get a way to get that paid.
And
period.
How long
and that's just the way I roll with it.
How long has your school been open?
The school's been open 3 years now, but that's been my philosophy. I've been in business now for over 25 years, and that's been my philosophy my entire life.
Wow.
Period.
Wow.
If you can't take care of that responsibility, think about it now. Teaching and parenting, I hold just close to my heart. And next to parenting, teaching is the most important profession there is in the world, mm-hmm. hands down. Mm-hmm. And in the state of California, guess what profession has the lowest SAT scores in all the professions in the state of California?
Which one has the lowest?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know. I know you're going to blow me away. What is it?
Teachers.
Teachers have the lowest SAT scores?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because when they can't get jobs anywhere else, they said, when you can't do something, what do? You teach. And so now you have all these people with these emergency teaching credentials and things of that nature.
Wow.
And they're just there to get a check.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Well,
but on the other hand, we need to pay our teachers better, too. Honestly, we need to pay our teachers. A gentleman at San Quentin, 12 miles from Richmond High School, makes $130,000 a year with his overtime and things of that nature. And a beginning teacher at Richmond High School may make $45,000. So we need to pay our teachers.
So when you say the one making $100,000, what is that with the jail system?
Yes, ma'am. The guard, just the regular
Wow,
guard who's walking
that's
the.
crazy.
Yeah, I've been by Richmond High
It's
School.
just phenomenal.
I've been by
So
Richmond High School. It's
we
about the
need to
same
change
thing.
those things. We just simply need to sit there. You know what? Common sense is not that common. Some things when you look at it and you go like, hey, this is just too simple. And the world has just gotten in a big hurry for nothing.
Uh-huh.
And we need to slow down and do one thing at a time. All these people, these multitaskers, I have friends who have degrees from Stanford and Cal and all these multitaskers. And at the end of the year, I complete 60 things and do it well. And they start 500 things and don't do anything well.
And don't
So,
even finish. Don't even complete anything.
and
Coach,
so we need to just complete what we start.
right,
Simple as that.
right. Well, many people are wondering, with the young men that the movie focused on, what are
Yes,
some
ma'am.
of them doing now from the Coach
The
Carter
little
movie?
kid named Cruz, remember Cruz, the little Hispanic kid
Yes,
that I had a fight with the first day?
yes, the one whose cousin or someone was killed.
Yes, ma'am. He was a
Yes,
drug dealer,
yes.
natural leader. This gentleman in 2 weeks will be a doctor. He's graduating from medical school in two
Oh
weeks.
my gosh, excellent, excellent. Wow, that is
And
excellent.
yeah,
Okay,
Junior Battle from the movie has two kids now. He was dating Ashanti in the movie that
yes,
he actually have two kids. And ma'am, his daughter is like the number one sixth grader in the country uh,
outstanding.
as a basketball player. And he's played ball on, you know, and probably in every country in the world. For the last 10 years, he's been playing ball and making a good living overseas. And now he's home
Good.
coaching his daughter and his son.
And being a great
Courtney
father.
Anderson ended up playing for the Oakland Raiders, playing
Outstanding.
professional football.
Outstanding.
And my son will be back here working with me at my school. He's going to take on the reign of being the headmaster. And so, all these kids, that was the most successful group of boys to ever go through Richmond High School, hands down.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Well, Coach,
And we
also,
talk there every week.
outstanding. Well, also, I know that you just finished a movie in my hometown, Kansas City, Missouri.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk a little bit about that. And
Kansas City, Missouri.
I'm sorry.
Kansas City, Missouri. Ma'am, is that in the United States?
Very funny. Very funny. You know you
Yes,
like
ma'am.
that city. It is a wonderful city. It's
Yes,
almost
ma'am.
it's almost like one of the
It
best
really
kept
is.
secrets right now.
Yes, ma'am. That's a wonderful place.
Yes, yes. Now, Coach, you know what? I should have sent him is the movie trailer available for the general public?
Well, it will be, ma'am, in like 3 weeks because we'll start promoting the movie, and the movie will open up in about 6 weeks. We're about 6 weeks out, and
Can we show it
it's
or no?
called The Next Big Thing.
Can we show it here on the air or no?
If you want to show,
Huh?
yes, you can. If you have the capabilities of doing it, yes, you can.
Yeah, he
Because you have
in
the
about
access code. It's private.
in about 5 minutes, he
Yes,
said
he can show it.
he'll be able to do that. What made you no, not
Yes, ma'am.
what made you first do this movie in Kansas City and then what the movie is about? Tell us that.
See, a lot of people don't understand my first love before sports was music. I played saxophone, clarinet, flute, piano,
Uh-huh.
and I was coming out of the blue room, and because I had attended a friend of mine's playing, and I came outside. It was like 2 a.m, and it had rained, and the moon was setting right in the middle of 18 and Vine.
Uh-huh.
It was just a picture that you couldn't believe, and it was just like me and the universe. The universe was talking to me, and said, "This is the spot." And once I made up my mind, like anything else, 2 days later, we started shooting the movie. We started putting
Wow.
the
Wow.
foundation down to shoot a movie. And so we had a casting call the first day. We had to cancel it because just too many people showed up.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
We just couldn't handle the volume. And so now it's we have a great film, local talent. We had kids come in from New York, Chicago, Philly, St. Louis. So it was, we have people from all around the country in this movie.
Well, it's not like it's a whole lot that goes on there. So you probably pulled people from all the surrounding cities, from Iowa and everywhere else. I mean, the movie trailer looks really, really good. And you and your team did it, right? As far
Yes,
as
ma'am. I have a production company, and this is the thing, Sarita. We're making movies that is going to uplift and inspire people of color. Because when you look at television now, all the images that we see and I see are all negative. And I can't say don't do these shows, because when your mortgage and your car note is due and this is the way you make your living, who am I to say that this is wrong? All I'm saying is this: I'm not complaining about something. I seen something I didn't like, and I decided to go forth and do something about it, and make some stuff I think people want to see, and uplift families and
Well,
and individuals.
anything that you're going to be a part of, I'm sure that everyone will want to see, because you just have a way. You're very intuitive in knowing what's going to work. And that's another thing, that every time when I've heard you say something, I just sit and wait, because I know it's going to happen and I know that it's going to hit big. So now, Coach, you've got how many sisters? Because I know in the movie you kept talking about your sisters and the plays you named after your sisters.
I yes, ma'am. I have 7 sisters, and all 7 of my sisters are dyslexic, believe it or not.
No.
They suffer from dyslexia. Yes.
Okay, is there a
When I
joke
give them my
behind
credit
this,
or to
or
go to the YMCA to work out? What now?
I
When
was
I give them
saying,
my credit card to go to the YMCA to work out, they end up at the mall at Macy's. So they're dyslexic.
see, I knew there was a joke to it. I said there's something else, because there's no way that they all are dyslexic. Well, and that's because you allow it. That is because you allow it. Now, where are you in line as far as the
Let me
kids
tell
and
you
the
what
family?
those 7. I'm number 8, darling, of the 9. But those young ladies mold me to the person I am. And I tell people all the time, if it wasn't for my 7 sisters, I'd be pumping gas or something somewhere. They mold me and love me and took care of me. And people think, oh, you're so spoiled. I'm a better cook than all of them.
Yeah.
Hands down. And it's just amazing, all their personalities. So I name my basketball plays after their personalities.
Yeah.
And because it was a family, I think to be successful in life, they taught me to be accountable. They taught me to have integrity. They taught me how to be a great follower before I could ever talk about being a leader. And the Carter clan was always a team. So we always was a team. Even though we didn't have much, we were always a team.
Yes. Well, let me say this before my engineer goes crazy over there. Rock, if you can't bring it up, it's okay. I'll play it another time. Because I know, normally I try and get videos to him before the show, because it takes a while to upload so that it doesn't buffer.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll let you know if that comes up. Now, so give me one of the plays and then explain to me why it was after that sister. I know I'm asking you some stuff that you're like, okay.
Well, I had a sister named Linda. No, I had a sister named Linda, okay? And she was real political, and she had a big afro back in the day. And she used to wear a pick in it. And in the basketball, you have a play called a pick and roll. You pick and pop, and you pick and roll.
Yes.
So we call it a pick and roll.
Okay.
And so when we needed a pick and roll set, screen set, we just call out Linda. We go 1 up, Linda. And so that means one man set a screen for our center.
Right.
And our center rolled to the basket. Our point guard had a jump shot.
Right.
For 3. So it worked out.
Okay. You know what? All the time I've known you, I've wanted to know what each, why this play or that play and the sister. And so that helps. Do you have another one?
Yes, ma'am. My sister Hetty Jean was an out of bounds play. And she was always kind, and she would just always take her time. And so we wouldn't try to inbound the ball. You get 5 seconds to inbound the ball. So we'll have people run around for 4 seconds and inbound the ball to our guy standing under the goal, basically, the last second. And we scored every single time with this play. And we called it Hetty Jean. That was her name.
Okay. Well, Coach, I know you recently lost a sister. And I'm sorry. My condolences to you and your family. Which sister did you lose?
That was the one I was just talking about, Hetty Jean.
Oh, okay.
But you know what, ma'am? We really didn't lose her. Ma'am, honestly, she had put in such a body of work
Yes.
that, you know, it was just simply outstanding. And Sarita, when you have a praying mama,
Yes.
that's what people don't understand. When you have a praying mama,
praying mama.
and
Yeah,
we
you're giving
get
me
to
chill
some
bumps.
praying daddies too, you
Yes,
understand?
yes.
So when you have some praying parents, man, there's nothing that you can't endure.
Right.
And so, listen, I know I'm going to see her again, and it's going to be some time because, you know, I look at this, Sarita, you guys will be already in heaven and stuff, and you guys will hear me complaining at the gate.
You still gonna
You know,
be
you
here.
guys- yeah, you're going to hear me bitching and complaining because I'm going to be going like, you only gave me like 600 years, God? You gave Methuselah 900. You cheat me out of 300.
Yeah. So you still gonna be around.
Yes, ma'am. I plan to still be around, and that's why I plant my garden and get my sleep and try to drink my water and do healthy things and exercise. Because guess what? I want to stay on this planet because every moment we get is precious.
Yes, yes. Well, now speaking of your garden, I've seen you on Facebook. Give your Facebook and also your website again before I go into this.
Well, it's CoachCarter.com is a website, and you can see basically everything we're doing. You can order books from it, and tapes, and all the other stuff that we have done over the years, and autographed movies and everything. And I have a channel, and it's just Coach Carter channel on YouTube. You can see all my garden things that we have done over the years, and we just have spectacular garden. We feed about 50 people a week out of the garden, organic vegetables. We grow every single thing. We have 10 acres, so we have 5 different gardens.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, we spend a lot of time in the garden.
Yeah, that's good because I've seen a few of them. Was that a head of lettuce that you held up? It was huge on one of your recent videos.
Yes, ma'am. It was a cabbage, and that's my sister cooking. It's like the size of 2 basketballs.
Man.
But just as the thing, when you put a good seed in good soil and nurture it,
Yes.
that's the type of results you get.
Yes.
That's kind of I call in life compound interest. And so that's what we did. That's all you're looking at, ma'am, is, listen, we put that good seed, and nature is just ready to run. And that's the way we got to look at our lives. Nature is just ready to run,
Right.
and it'll work if you work it.
Right, right. Well, you know what? We're going to take a break real quick. I'll come back to you in just a moment, Coach. Don't go anywhere. Those of you that are listening, just stay right with us. We'll be back at you in just a moment.
On the streets of Richmond, they fought to get by. Struggled to get out.
Good, bro.
And if they had anything left, they brought it to the court.
Your boys don't need practice, they need prison.
Good afternoon, young man.
Are you some preacher, man? Cause God ain't gonna do you no good in this neighborhood.
Leave the gym.
I ain't scared of nobody, cause I'll lay you out.
I don't think so.
Teachers ain't supposed to touch students.
I'm not a teacher. I'm the new basketball coach.
Now they have a choice.
In Richmond, you're 80% more likely to go to prison than college. This contract states that you will maintain a 2.3 grade point average, and you will wear ties on game.
Between surviving alone
This is basketball, man.
These boys are student athletes. Student comes first.
and standing together.
If one man struggles, the entire team struggles. You have an incredible gift up here. Do you realize what an opportunity that is for you to get out of here? All you gotta do is have the dream.
I just bought that big white crib right there. My wife Beyonce, barbecue with her G-strings on.
I said dream, not hallucinate. Gentlemen, we have 6 players failing at least one class. We have failed each other.
You put a lock on the gym and forced them to meet you in the library.
Coach Carter is taking the lockout to the next level by canceling last night's game, making it their first loss of the season.
Coach thinks I can play college ball. I'm gonna do that and raise a baby.
What are you saying? You want out?
Basketball's the only thing that these boys have got. Now, we're gonna let Hart come in here and take that away from them.
You can get through this.
Paramount Pictures and MTV Films present.
What do I gotta do to play?
Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it.
One player triumphs, we all triumph, right?
Woo! We're gonna finish what you started, sir.
Samuel L. Jackson, Rob Bob Brown, Ashanti.
I came to coach basketball players, and you became students. I came to teach boys, and you became men. This is our time.
Coach Carter.
Hey, Coach, wasn't that a nice surprise to have that air? I tell you, that movie, I think we've watched it probably at least 5, 6 times, even with my grandson. So wasn't that a nice surprise to have that air for you?
That was extremely nice, young lady.
That's my engineer. I tell you, he is awesome. This is Rock Peoples, and Rock. Rock actually he's a man of many talents. He also is the security for just a very, very funny comedian, Lunel. I always mispronounce her name. You know, she has the really short blonde hair. And so Rock travels with her. She's from Oakland, actually.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I know of her.
Yes.
She is very, very funny.
Yes.
Yeah, we were just up there at Tommy T's.
Oh, yeah. I know the spot.
And, you know, Coach, last week I had Bobby Glanton Smith on. He's another that is doing just some really great things in community. Because of him, I've done some I met Jim Brown, and we've done some coaching for his program, which is the American program. And just he and I, we share resources and individuals that we know. He's out of town. He was going to be here with me today. He might end up calling in, but he has a book called Real Men Don't Play. And he's going to do a part 2 of that. And so I was talking to him about you. He's been wanting to meet you. He definitely wants to highlight you also in this part 2 of Real Men Don't Play. So hopefully he will be able to call in and speak with us today. Coach, I'll make sure that you get a copy of the book because he has just some really, really powerhouse brothers in this book. And, you know, he's a funny dude to talk to, too, and just making a difference. So hopefully he will reach out to us today. I think he's in Murfreesboro right now, Tennessee. Went back to his hometown. So Coach, in the movie, there was another thing that I wanted to ask. When you had them doing the push-ups, and then the guys, they decided that they were going to help with the number that I guess Cruz had to do. I take it that really was something that truly happened too, right?
Yes, ma'am. That was part of team building. The young men, honestly, because they had came together as a family, and they were just taking the next step. See, what happened was this here. People thought I had some great plan with these boys. My whole goal was just to get them to their next class. It was just that simple, ma'am.
Yeah,
I didn't have a great plan of anything. I just wanted to get them to their next class. See, basketball was the hook. Education was always the goal. You know, and so when people run up to me and say, Coach, don't you want to be like Shaq? He gets paid $15,000 a minute to play in an NBA basketball game. I said, no, young man, I don't want to be like Shaq. I want to be like the man or woman who pays Shaq. Because if they can pay all of those players, what are they making?
Right.
And you know, think about it. These kids, you know, honestly, all of them think they're going to play in the NBA. And only 1 in every 500,000 get an opportunity to play in the NBA.
Wow.
You have a better chance of owning a team than playing on a team.
Wow.
Yeah, see, that's what people don't understand. You could actually own a team because your professional business career could last for 60 years.
Wow.
And most people don't make their millions, believe it or not, when you read the stories about millionaires and things until they get into their 50s and 60s.
So there's
and so we have all these young people thinking, oh, I'm 24 years old, and man, I'm going to listen, young man. You have a whole lot of living to do before you get wealthy.
Yes. Well, you know, God, I've got so much I want to ask you, but there was another note to self. There was a scene also where the guys were going to be in the library, but you had the girls, some kind of way you got the girls in there and that made the boys want to be there or something. Tell me the story about that.
It's real simple, ma'am. Like I have 7 sisters, right? So I look at things a little bit different than most males. That's just the way it is with me. I look at things a little bit different. But to make my basketball team, once you got selected, you had to actually bring a girl in the gym and kiss her in front of me. because that young lady you kissed in October is going to be the same young lady you kissed in March when we win the state championship. Because, see, the boys get unstable because they were stars. We was on TV. We was on USA Today, you know, Dr. Phil. We was everywhere, all the news media.
Right.
And so the woman always stabilizes the man.
Ah.
Yes, ma'am. And so, therefore, it was a young lady there on campus, and so Worm was really in love with her, and Worm was kind of like the ringleader. And so I actually paid the young ladies to go to the library. Really? And so therefore I told Worm, I said, Worm, Stephanie was over at the library, man, and she was talking about how sexy you were with your bald head and these long shorts. It took Worm a millisecond to get over to the library. And I told the young ladies, I said, when the boys come in here, you got to wink at them. And I used to tell them, I said, these young ladies only like smart young men. They're not going to be dating any dummies. And so therefore, the young ladies was in the library. That's what the boys wanted to be. Quote unquote, today. You notice why clubs always let the ladies in free and the men's have to pay the $25?
Yes, yes.
That's what I did as a promoter.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what? Even a lot of these sites, the date sites, I think the women can sign up for free.
Yes, ma'am.
But the men have a fee or something. And I guess I never understood why the women don't pay and the men do. But okay, that makes sense. Duh, that makes me feel kind of like I'm kind of stupid.
Listen, you're going to catch more bees with honey than you are with anything else. Am I correct? Or something sweet, right?
Yes.
With good nectar. So therefore, I would just put the nectar in the library. Therefore, those who seeking the nectar went to the library.
Man, that was smart. That was smart. Well, you know, Coach, I could just go forever talking to you. Your son, and there's your son, and then now you have a grandson, and I've seen that wonderful picture of him.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wait, Coach, before we start talking about your grandson, we have Bobby Glanton Smith on the call, and I want to catch that while he's here. Bobby, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, how are you?
If I was doing any better, I had to take something for it.
You know, I was telling Coach how much when I talk to you, there's certain things and the sayings that you say, and both of you being from the country remind me of each other. And I gave him a little information about Real Men Don't Play. So I wanted you to say hello, talk about your book a little bit, and you already know Coach, so I just felt like this would be a great start of a relationship.
Well, I want to first of all thank you for being conscious enough to and observant to know which pieces fit. Brother Carter, I commend you for the work that you put in that showed up on the big screen. And
thank you, sir.
It was important that you did that when you did it, because it spoke to a condition that it was good to know someone was addressing the fact that our children, particularly our young boys, need to be under the tutelage of men who care about them on and off the court, because there's no difference between what happens between the lines and what happens off the basketball arena. So kudos to you, brother.
Thank you so very much.
Yes. So, Bobby, tell him a little bit about Real Men Don't Play and your reasoning for writing that book, putting that together.
Well, I grew up in a town called Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I'm actually here now. And I grew up around men who worked with their hands, men who were formally educated, less so than the ones who went out every day and dug ditches and cleaned white people's homes and did all kind of things in order to provide for their families. But one thing all of these men had in common was they meant what they said, and they said what they meant. And they provided my generation from the 50s with models of possibility. Mm-hmm. And around the late 80s, early 90s, it became fashionable for men of color to refer to each other as players. And I found that kind of discouraging, simply because we had worked so hard to gain respect and equal footing with respect to how we deal with each other. And then we took it upon ourselves to minimize each other by calling each other players. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't live with that, knowing that I had been exposed to some great, great men, some who were famous and some who were infamous. And I started processing the concept in the late 90s, and it took me 20 years to actually put it in print. And the book is a compilation of short stories about men that I have known personally. Some, again, are famous, like the great Jim Brown, Coach Lionel Hollins, Sam, the face of boxing, Watson. And then there are people like my cousin, the late George D. Osborne, who gave his life in service of this country October the 4th, 1968 in the jungles of Vietnam, who I watched become a man long before it should have been his, duty to be a man. And then there are people like Julian Mendoza, Brown brothers, who I've worked with. So what it is, brother, it's a compilation of short stories about men that I've had the pleasure of knowing that reflect what it is to not only that I've known personally, that really stand for something and provide a model of possibility for young men to follow in various footsteps along their journey. Some people don't understand that it's not what you do as much as it is who you are. And Marcus Garvey once said famously, what men have done, men can do. What I found in my journey is you got to know about it. So the purpose and motivation for me writing this book was to give this generation and future generations opportunities to be exposed to men of substance.
Well,
so in a nutshell, that's what it's about.
Well, again, I'm definitely going to make sure that I connect the two of you. I'm going to text and give you guys each other's phone number, because I knew that he could be not only a good contact for you, but for your book 2 coming out. This young man, Mr. Coach King Carter, has just made some amazing strides. And Bobby, one of the things that I remember you saying to me is that, what was it? You're judged by, or you get somewhere in life by the books that you read and the people you know?
The books that you read and the people you meet.
Yes, yes. And I remembered that because, again, when I hear men say some wonderful things, I put those in my mental library. And again, you say a lot of things that I hold on to, and definitely Coach Carter does the same. And so I wanted you to say hello, wanted him to know about your book, and my audience to hear that again. And I thank you. Coach, did you have anything or to say to Mr. Bobby Glanton Smith?
Well, when he was talking about, it's the same philosophy when he's talking about success. And success is, is the people who have access to the best information and actually put it to use. All our lives, people have been telling us knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. The execution of good knowledge is power.
Yes, yes. Ooh, another
one. We already know each other because I have subscribed to what you just said. As soon as I got a college degree and found out you can have more degree than a thermometer and not be able to find your way out of a one-room apartment with an exit sign over the door.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you talk about young people, and I tell them all the time, I said, the older your parents get, the older they get, the smarter their parents is going to be. And so they just need to listen. That's simple. They just, the little boys, they think they know everything. They think they're cool. Miss Arita, I had one kid would wear his hat backwards, not on campus, but off campus. And I would always walk up to him and talk to the back of his head. And he said, Coach, why you talk to the back of my head? I said, well, you're wearing your hat that way. You have it turn around. I thought that's the way you was walking. So, so little things like that when we start to talk to the kids and move them along.
Yes.
And we just got to move along as people. And see, we think we have to do everything at one time. And we think we have to have all the answers. You don't have to have all the answers. You leave that to a higher power.
Yes,
you just need to start things and become a specialist.
Yes.
See, all the general knowledge in the world won't do you any good. You got to specialize in something.
Yes, yes. Well, I thank you so much. And Bobby, I thank you for taking the time to call in, speak to Mr. Coach Carter, And
Thank you, sir.
And this way you guys can get acquainted after that. Bobby, did you have one last message?
Well, I just want people to know that help is on the way, because the more people like you connect the dots, it gives us an opportunity to reconstruct a sustainable village.
Yes.
And I want to commend you for the work you're doing, Sharita, and I look forward to being able to communicate with Brother Carter as we rally around our common interests to affect positive social and economic change.
Good, good. Well, like I said to both of you, I'm going to be launching this tour, and I plan on having you guys a part of it. We're going to get the funding so that we can have your books given to our young people as we take you guys on this tour that I'm planning. And so thank both of you. I appreciate both of you. And Bobby, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you for letting me be myself again.
Again.
Right.
Okay.
Take care, sir.
Y'all take care.
All righty.
Thank you.
Now, Coach, I think we've got your movie trailer ready. So can you talk to us about it just a little bit before we show it to our audience?
This is really exciting. This is my first film. Produced by me, written by me, filmed by me, and we have all the production equipment that Paramount has, or anyone else. So it's an extremely quality film, and we just took and we're looking forward to giving some individuals in Kansas City and across the country an opportunity to show their gifts. And so we had people come in and gospel singing, rap. We had a little bit of everything, and so we had the person who won the contest actually won $50,000 and a recording contract.
Outstanding, outstanding. Yeah. Well, let's let them see this wonderful trailer.
Girl, you tore it up today. I don't know what's holding you back, but you need to start branching out. Look, singing in church is cool, don't get me wrong, but that's not all there is for you.
Blake, you want to explain to me about your plans for the future? The Stevens men handle business. That's what we do.
Music is my business.
No, music is your hobby.
You need to find out what works for you, what your it factor is.
Man, I thought basketball was it.
And it can be, but that's not right now. And until you make that happen, you need to pursue some other lanes. You never know what those might be.
Hey, girl, it's Coach Carter, the Coach Carter, is looking for the flyest, dopest, most talented vocalist. And girl, he coming to 18th and Vine.
I know you feel like hell, you look like hell. Your dad's being a D-bag, and your life pretty much sucks. I'm sorry. I just realized how much your life sucks.
Thanks for the pick-me-up, Jimmy.
Welcome to the next big thing. You get to decide, America, who will take home $50,000 and a recording contract, and who will be the next big thing.
The music
Let's not do this whole awkward back and forth thing. You cleared that up when you didn't show up for my show.
Look, this is your moment. This is your time. God has already spoken to you about this. Now just believe it. Just sing.
You the dude from the little dance competition, ain't you? Hey, you know, I want to learn how to play the guitar. Can I use yours?
This is my competition, okay? So do yourself a favor. Go home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Coach Carter, $50,000. The winner is...
The Music Bed.
Wow, Coach. Wait a minute, and my city has a nerve to look good. You did a great job, my goodness. And this is your first time, this is your first film, your first.
Yes, ma'am, my first independent film that my company has done, and we're going to film 2 more there in Kansas City.
Wow.
So we'll start filming another movie in Kansas City in about a month.
Well, hopefully I'll make it home while you're there, because one of the things I also miss is Gates Barbecue. Shout out to Gates Barbecue and my girl Kiva Gates, who is like my sister. I know you had plenty of Gates while you were there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
You know, and he's that's a landmark in Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
I mean, hands down.
Yes.
And you're talking about a young man with a vision. When he employs probably 150 people.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I call success.
Yes, and he even now has branched into housing, and he has quite a bit of retail along there. You can always tell his buildings. You probably saw that they have the same coloring as like the Gates Barbecue facility.
That's called branding.
Yes, it is, and he definitely knows how to do that. Mr. Gates definitely knows how to do that. Now, Coach, back to you and your movie. Before making Coach Carter, you were not producing movies. That like you were saying, this is your first. You're planning to do others, and you have young people that have also learned. They're working in film and they're learning editing and all of that right along with you, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Wow.
ma'am. We have the professionals, we have the amateurs right there, working along with them, and they do a very good job. See, this is the thing: you have to have access to good information, and then you have to put it to use. And so once these people get around and successful people, then they see the possibilities in their lives. And it just changes. And when you change one individual's life, you change that family's life.
Yes, yes.
Totally.
Yes.
And I just think the world gets better one person at a time. And Jesus Christ now, he had a good day. When he first spoke, I think he had like 5,000 people. That's a pretty good day.
Yeah.
He had 5,000. But there was some people in the audience that was complex. He did not his ministry and try to explain it to the people who was complex. He just carried on. And he didn't look for all the answers and all the other stuff right there. He just carried on with his work. And so with the people who's listening, you don't have to have all the answers. Just leave that to a higher power.
Wow. Wow. Well, Coach, I'm going to make sure and forward this because we just sent a grant out just on Monday, just a couple of days ago. There's a major funding for film projects, and so with you having young people working with you, you can also get film funding. Like we got that $100,000 for Bill Duke and his foundation, the Bill Duke Media Foundation, and those same grants could help produce your film. Pay the individuals that's working with young people and helping them to get into film. I'm looking at one right now, and they're saying here last year, let's see, they're saying Good Pitch loved, this is for Australia, but there's a lot of them for all over. I just did a quick search. They gave over 11 million, raised over 11 million. They're giving from 5,000 to 1.4 million for film projects. And so I just wanted to I'll make sure and send that information to you. Now, we're getting down to the closing hour of the show, Coach. I'd like for you to provide your information for my audience one more time before I let you go.
If you're trying to reach me, you can also reach me at CoachCarter.com. It's just real simple. My email is CoachKenCarter at yahoo.com. CoachKenCarter@yahoo.com. I answer all my emails. I'm not a cyber brother yet, but I'm learning. And they can also call me at any time at 254-883-2255. Again, that's 254-883-2255. And if you call early enough, I will personally answer the.
Okay, well, great. Well, Coach, I want to thank you so much for being on with me. Just one last thing, and that is we will be looking forward to this movie coming out. What is the projected time that it's going to be out in the movie theaters?
Well, we're looking at for back to school.
Okay.
That's when we were looking after the summer, because they have the summer blockbusters and all the other stuff. And this is a teaching tool. This is a teaching tool, and a good portion of it was shot at Paseo High School.
Wow, wow, that's
Yes,
where my
ma'am.
brothers and sisters graduated. Well, again,
Yes, ma'am.
Coach, I will have to have you come back. I thank you so much. I honor you and what you're doing. I love who you are and just the man that you represent. And you don't stop there. You make sure that you reach out and touch others. So, Coach, I respect you for that. Happy Father's Day early. Thank you for being on my Father's Day month show. Okay?
Thank you so very much, ma'am.
All right. And to my listeners, there's a grant for that. You hear me say that all the time. And so if you would like to get connected to the grants that we send out on a regular basis, go to my website at kifoundation.org. That's kifoundation.org. If you want to know about the recent grant, go to the Fledgling Fund. That's FLEDGLING drivetime.fund.org. Check out the grant funding that's coming up for July 1st. This is Sharita J, Drive Time in Los Angeles, California. Thank you so much for being with me. Coach, I love you, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
All right. You want to do it again? You want to do it again, huh? Yeah, let's do it one more time. Gotta take you
Power Lunch with Sharita J. If we could get more people to collaborate with our non